Okay. I have one question. You are the specialist, the cancer research, before you have the cancer research professor. But why do you stop that one? Please explain to me.
Very good, Mr. Shim. I think a lot of people they have been wondering about that, and they say, this lady actually used to be known to be world-renowned cancer researcher. Back in the year of 2002, she actually received $1 million of funding from American Cancer Society. So the American Cancer Society, honored this lady the title called the American Cancer Society Scholar. Okay, so the person that people talk about a lot was under the name of Dr. Tongwen Wang. That was my past history. So the cancer research field, all the most important researchers in the world, they know that there is this very talented researcher from Harvard Medical School, and her name is Dr. Tongwen Wang, and she did incredible discoveries about the mechanisms at the molecular level, dissection, understanding how cancer is developed. It's called carcinogenesis. So about cancer's development, what kind of molecules are involved, and what are the balances that are disrupted. That was my expertise. I was an international leader, and people follow my discoveries. Every time when I make a discovery, the discovery was published in the most top-notch journal called Science. I opened up the black box of the most complicated and intricate molecular mechanism concerning a family of protein called the TGF-beta. And they are the powerful molecules that help the body to balance and don't develop cancer. And when the molecules in the TGF-beta family, I call them molecular kings. They're like the king family, right? When the king family goes wrong, our body start to break down and start to have cancer. So I was the one that discovered that. So the whole world got very excited because they say that, if we actually can understand the mechanism of cancer, then we'll be able to fix it. So that's why lots and lots of money are being given to cancer researchers like, Dr. Wang, okay? And so Dr. Wang and, many great researchers like current president of the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Institute in New York. That's like the world's most famous cancer research institute, right? Memorial Sloan Kettering. The president was Dr. Wang's colleague, Dr. Joan Mesegi. So in Toronto, the leader, also was the same field. In Tokyo, in Sweden. All the international most powerful leaders of the current human life science field was Dr. Wang's team. This is like the whole world worship almost like gods. These are the people that the human society worship like gods. And listen to these people, and whatever that they discover manifest into the human world as the hope for the entire mankind to ultimately find a solution of cure of all kinds of human diseases like cardiovascular disease, cancer, autoimmune disease like diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's disease, you know what I mean? So these are the people that Dr. Wang's team internationally, they basically are dominating the entire life science field. And, Nobel Prize winning, right? Lots and lots of people in the dissection of the mechanisms of, human body win Nobel Prize. So a lot of people view Dr. Tongwen Wang to be the future Nobel Prize winner. That's the hope put on her. And so all her family members, classmates, neighbors, colleagues, all hoping that she will continue to lead the field all the way to the ultimate success of conquering cancer, conquering all human diseases, and certainly she was really on top of it, okay? But something very strange happened to Dr. Wang, my past, right? That really shocked everybody. And everybody noticed that this lady suddenly, something happened to her. And lots and lots of stories about her. The Chinese government blacklisted her, okay? And the family started to think that she went crazy because the Chinese government labeled her to be someone who actually was following Falun Gong, Falun Dafa. Okay, so the Chinese government blamed Falun Dafa to be the bad guy, to distract this superstar of science, and leading her to quit science. The Chinese Communist government labeled that, she no longer believes in science, and she follows Falun Gong, Falun Dafa, and she must be crazy, and that's why Falun Gong is bad. You know what I mean? So there were a lot of negative stories that associated with my past, and still at this time, even Falun Dafa practitioners, some people say, you made the wrong choice. You're supposed to continue to do your great science and great discoveries, and then you can prove that Falun Dafa is really great. Well, why you didn't continue to do your research and you stopped? I want to make it very clear that Dr. Tongwen Wang never decided to quit science. Never ever. Dr. Tongwen Wang was a very, very dedicated scientist and invested all her time, 24/7, into try to find a cure of cancer. Never stopped that thought. And after practicing Falun Dafa, that made her even more powerful to continue this direction of try to find a solution for human health, okay? So it's a total lie that Dr. Wang quit science. But why she no longer do research was because the Chinese government actually didn't like what she was doing. Dr. Wang decided that she wants to do something that's going to be able to lead the entire mankind, understand that the true solution for the health, for all the human diseases, is not going to be coming from research of dissection of the human body, but it's going to come from each individual themselves. It's going to come from each people who understand the truth and start to change their mind and started to elevate their spirit. And only through each individual start to elevate their spirit, Dr. Wang believed that is the reason why all the Falun Dafa practitioners, all kinds of diseases that the Western world try to use science and technology to eradicate, cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, right? Scleroderma, MS, all those diseases that every year America, do you know the government spend 1/4 of national income to develop molecular medicine, try to suppress the symptom of all these diseases and consider to be the solution. And Dr. Tongwen Wang, she started to experience through doing the meditation of Falun Dafa exercises, through interacting with other Falun Dafa practitioners, through going there to interview the Falun Dafa practitioners who had all those diseases and now totally healed. Dr. Wang very carefully investigated the phenomena that she started to encounter among the Falun Dafa practitioners, the incredible miraculous healing. It's like a modern miracles. She certainly had doubt to begin with, but when she interviewed, when she practiced, when she personally experienced all those miracles, she started to think, why? What is really going on? What's the mechanism? You know what I mean? So she wanted to study it. She wanted to take some cells out from the practitioner and then look under the microscope and do some experiments to see what happened to the cells of the Falun Dafa practitioners who had a disease. Now, after they do cultivation practice and elevate their spirit, is there some change in their body, in their molecules? And when Dr. Wang did that, she sees the evidence the Falun Dafa practitioners' cells operate totally differently from those people who do not practice Falun Dafa. Falun Dafa practitioners' cells, which we are now talking about the blood cells because you can take out some blood and study it. The white blood cells of Falun Dafa practitioners that Dr. Wang and the collaborator, Dr. Lily Fan, another female scientist from Baylor School of Medicine, the two of them collaborate and study it and have sound evidence to prove one important concept, which I mentioned to you, that a human body can go through upgrading when a person do cultivation practice. So when Dr. Wang and Lily did the most cutting edge frontier technology, use a little chip with 30,000 genes on it to do snapshots of the cell and look at the cell's operational mode, a picture came out very clearly that the Falun Dafa practitioner's cell, the way they operate is very economical. Their metabolism slow down. The machine in the cell that makes the protein slow down. The machine that breaks down the protein slows down. And the protein become long-lived. They don't get damaged. They become very high energy and very, very economical. So our body's energy is preserved. No stress response. Stress response, the excess amount of stress response is the foundation of all the human diseases. Falun Dafa practitioner cells has calmed down the metabolism, calmed down the stress response. The proteins are living a long life. It is a most beautiful, peace and tranquility and health, phenomena that at the molecular level use the highest technology. Dr. Wang saw a new picture, a new operational mode. So that's why Dr. Wang started to say that I have found the cure. It's not from manipulating the cell, use a foreign drug. Any foreign drug enter our body, it's going to catch some protein in our body, and it's going to cause a tip over of the balance of the body. So that's why all Western medicine has side effects. It cannot fundamentally cure the root. It can only suppress temporarily the symptom of the disease. But the more you suppress, all the bad things will start to be, eventually will erupt like a volcano. That's why eventually people totally die from very vicious diseases. So you can always suppress, but if the root problem is not resolved, ultimately you're going to have the greatest suffering to end your life. So it's not the solution. The solution is for each individual to understand that our body, actually the reason it's not healthy is due to our wrongdoings. We did wrong things. And what means right, what it means wrong, in the human world, there is one word called moral. Okay. So morality is the key for human being to follow moral, practice moral, and to repent. There is a repent, way. Recently, Mr. Shim already started to teach the moral of the repent way. Okay, and yesterday, Mr. Shim introduced the 8, kindness, and today, we have the 8 evilness, right? So you see, if people do the evil, they will have disease. If people do the cultivation of the mind body, following kindness, and then they will be able to repent. And when they repent, they purge out all the negative substances that causes diseases. You know what I mean? So that's why Dr. Wang, through learning Falun Dafa, through interacting with the Falun Dafa practitioners, her scientific understanding was no longer at this level. Her understanding of life was upgraded too. And when she sees higher truths, certainly those evil will want to attack her and want to persecute her. You see? That's basically what happened to Jesus, right? That happened to Buddha. That happened to Lao Tzu. That happened to Confucius. That happened to all the great teachers in the human world who enlightened to the truth. But the truth, for the people who do not know the truth, they actually hate it. They don't want to listen to it. But when they hate it, they don't want to listen to it, they go against it, what happened to them? They are destroyed. Eventually, they are destroyed. So I really want to answer your question today and say that it's not that I stopped doing science. As a matter of fact, I am doing science every day, but I am doing true science now. I'm not doing the blind man science. I'm doing the whole elephant science. That's why the moment, 2005, when Dr. Wang's laboratory got shut down by the politician governor of Washington State under the instruction of the Chinese Communist Party, Dr. Wang decided that I'm going to build my own institute. I'm going to bring the world a new paradigm of science. It's going to be the science of mind, body, and spirit. And our body is not a mechanical body made of molecules that when they're old and they're broken, we just fix it. No, our body is a universe. Our body can renew. Our body can upgrade. It is really about our spirit. If our spirit knows the truth, if in the human world we follow morality, and we can live long, strong, and healthy. So Mr. Shim will, be able to work with me, and we hope more and more people will come together, and I hope more and more cancer researchers, great scientists, Nobel, laureates join us. Let's validate. Let's use scientific way to validate that human body is not a machine. Human body can upgrade. If a person before has bad habit of smoking, drinking, drugging, right? Homosexuality, whatever that people think is correct. Let's do validation study. Take some of their cell. Look at their cell's operational mode. Compare with those people who does things according to the morals. Let's see those people who does things against moral versus those people who does things following moral. Let's look at their cell. Let's look at their cell's operational mode. I guarantee you, we will find a drastic difference of the operational mode of these two group of people. I also think modern science technology can validate the very science that morality is true science. Morality, when they guide people to do the right things, human diseases will evaporate. I guarantee that's the solution, So the Chinese government want to attack Falun Gong and said Falun Gong destroyed a scientist's future. No, it is them try to destroy my future. It is the Chinese Communist government when I was ready to go back to China to help China to become a great nation and do true science. They blacklisted me. They canceled my, right. They prohibit me to return to China. Not only they don't let me go back to China, even in America they want to silence me, label me to be mentally ill through my own brother, and they try to ship me back to China, put me into mental hospital, and silence me completely. They send out hate propaganda and making sure that all my family members take away all my money and make me homeless, cannot continue to do my great work. But guess what? Whatever they do is only doing it to themselves. I start to see that, when more and more people know this truth, more and more people will be able to make a stand for, the morality. And the human world will have a great future. That's why today I team up with Mr. Shim and many more other wonderful people in the world, and we want to let the human world start to see light, the true light.
Okay.